Hi friends, hope all are fine. Our subject is solid state device, that is solid state physics, in which we are going to see the detailed analysis of semiconductors. And in this video we are going to see what are the types of semiconductors and what are the classifications of semiconductors. So we can see that the electronic materials mainly classified into three categories based on their resistivity or conductivity. The classifications are: first is insulators. Their resistivity is very high. Rho is greater than 10 raised to 5 ohm centimeter. For a diamond, the rho is equal to 10 raised to 16. And for semiconductors, second category is semiconductors. Their resistivity is 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to 5 ohm centimeter range. That means the resistivity is in between insulators and conductors. And the third classification is conductors. That means resistivity is very less, 10 raised to minus 3 ohm centimeter, less than 10 raised to minus 3 ohm centimeter. And for a copper, the resistivity, copper is a metal, having resistivity is 10 raised to minus 6 ohm centimeter. So based on resistivity, we are classifying our materials, electronic materials, as insulators, semiconductors and conductors. So in semiconductor physics or in solid state physics, the materials are classified as based on their energy gap or based on their band gap. So what is band gap? In solid state physics, a band gap is also called as energy gap. Is the energy range in solid where no electronic states can exist. That means in that range where there is no electrons exist. So that range of energy is called as energy gap. So we can consider as an atom is arranged of a, different energy levels. So in the range of energies there is no electronic state exist is called as energy gap. So if you are drawing graph of electronic band structures of solids, then the band gap is generally is the energy difference between the top of the valence band and the bottom of the conduction band in insulators and semiconductors. So what do you mean by valence band and what do you mean by conduction band? Valence band is nothing but for an insulator, the fully electrons filled state is called as valence band, and the conduction band is fully empty electron state is called as conduction band. That means at is absolute 0 Kelvin, the valence band is fully filled with of electrons for an insulator, and that of conduction band is fully empty. So we can define that this valence band and conduction band are different energy states. So the difference between the top of this valence band and the bottom of the conduction band is called as the energy band gap. So based on this energy band gap, we can define what is insulator, what is semiconductors and what is conductors. So materials that have large band gap energies are called as insulators. So because at room temperature essentially no free electrons exist in the material, so that act as an insulator. There is no free electrons to contribute the current, so it acts as an insulator. So remember that in terms of band gap, the materials that have large band gap energies are called as insulators, and the materials that contain very large number of free electrons at room temperature are called as conductors. So for conductors, the valence band and the conduction band may overlap. We can specify this conductors in two ways. One is the valence band and the conduction band is overlapped, or there is no energy gap in between for materials or for conductors. So or otherwise we can say that the valence band is fully filled with electrons and the conduction band is partially filled with electrons for conductors. So that is the conductors and insulator difference. For an insulator, there is a fully filled electrons at the valence band and there is empty conduction band. But for conductors, the valence band is fully filled with electrons and conduction band is partially filled with electrons, or we can say in another way, the valence band and conduction band is overlap each other. So that's the difference between insulators and conductors based on their energy gap. So our main focus is semiconductors. How the semiconductors defined in terms of band gap. So we know that semiconductors are materials whose properties are intermediate between those of metals and insulators. Then how we can explain this semiconductors based on their band gap energy? So that should be less than insulator and greater than conductor. So we can say that in a semiconductor the band gap energy is in the order of 1 electron volt or more than 1 electron volt. The net flow of free electrons cause a current. So we can say that the semiconductor at 0 Kelvin act as an insulator, and if we are increasing the temperature at room temperature, it will act as a conductor. So the energy band gap between the semiconductor is less compared to insulators but more compared to conductors. So if we are giving some sufficient energy to overcome that energy band gap, the semiconductor will act as a conductor. So at 0 Kelvin the semiconductor acts as an insulator because the filled electrons, the valence band electrons can't move to the conduction band at 0 Kelvin. So if you are applying some energies, the electron will get the energy, and that after receiving that energy in the valence band, the electron will receive that energy and they will move to the conduction band, and due to that conduction of electrons, current will occur. So at 0 Kelvin semiconductor acts as an insulator, but we are increasing the temperature, the electron will get energy and they will try to move to the conduction band, and that movement causes the conductivity and that will act as a conductor. So in a conductor, two types of charged particle contribute to the current: the negatively charged electron and the positively charged holes. So some examples are silicon and germanium are elemental semiconductors, and they have 4 valence electrons. And valence electron is nothing but the electrons in the outermost shell. So for silicon and germanium, the outermost shell have 4 electrons. So that is semiconductors. So materials are classified as insulators, conductors and semiconductors. Insulator have high band gap energy, so the electron can't overcome the band gap energy, so there is no conductivity. And for conductors, the band gap energy is very less, so or maybe the conduction band and valence band is fully overlapped. The conduction band and valence band is partially overlapped, so the electron can freely move from valence band to conduction band always, so they will act as conductors all the time. And for insulator, there is a the energy band gap is less compared to insulator and more compared to conductors. So if you are at 0 Kelvin, this acts as an insulator, but if you are giving energy in the form of temperature or anything, the valence electron will get the sufficient energy to overcome the band gap and conduction start, and that act as a conductors. So that is the basic classification. So the concentration of electrons or holes directly influence the magnitude of the current. In an intrinsic semiconductor, the density of holes and electrons are equal. So intrinsic semiconductor means pure form of semiconductors, that is a single crystal of semiconductor. If you are taking silicon crystal only, then we can say it as an intrinsic semiconductor. So if you are add some additional materials into that semiconductor, then we can't call it as intrinsic semiconductor, it is extrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor is the purest form of semiconductor, and the holes and electrons densities are equal. That means equal number of holes and electrons will exist. Then what is hole means? If an electron in the valence band gets sufficient energy, then that will move to the conduction band. So there is a vacant space in the valence band, then that vacant space is called as holes. So it is give off electrons, so that it will get a positive charge. So that is the holes and electron concept. Then what are the classification of semiconductors? So semiconductors are mainly classified into two. One is intrinsic or purest form of semiconductors, and the another one is extrinsic, impure form of semiconductors. So we can we can study detailed form of this intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. First is intrinsic semiconductor. A semiconductor which doesn't have any kind of impurities behaves as an insulator at 0 Kelvin and behaves as a conductor at a higher temperature is known as intrinsic semiconductor or pure semiconductor. So already we said that semiconductor in its purest form is known as intrinsic semiconductor, and it will act as insulator at 0 Kelvin, and if it gets sufficient energy to overcome the band gap, then it will act as conductors. And germanium and silicon, fourth group elements, that means the valence electrons of 4, are the best examples of intrinsic semiconductors, and they possess a diamond cubic crystalline structure. A perfect semiconductor crystal with no impurities or no lattice defects is called an intrinsic semiconductor, because we are not adding any foreign particles. Then we can say that it is an intrinsic semiconductor. Next we can see the silicon covalent bond model. So if silicon form a crystal, what will happen? So we can consider a silicon atom. It consists of 4 electrons in the outermost shell, or we can say that the valence electrons are 4 for silicon. Then what will happen means, if every silicon atom will try to make a covalent bond with the nearest 4 silicon atoms to form a stable state. So we can see that in a crystal, every silicon atom will bond with the other silicon atom. So there is no free bond. That means near absolute zero, all bonds are complete. That means each silicon atom contribute 1 electron to each of the nearest 4 bond pairs. So the outer shell is full, no free electrons. That means silicon crystal acts as an insulator at 0 Kelvin. So the silicon has outermost 4 electrons are there. All 4 electrons will make a covalent bond with the nearest 4 silicon atoms. So it acts as an insulator because there is no free electrons in the outermost shell. Next, what happens as the temperature increases? So if we are increase the temperature, it adds some energy to the lattice. So it will break the covalent bond. The electrons will get sufficient energy to break the covalent bond, and it will move in the lattice freely. So the breaking of covalent bond lead a vacant space there. So that vacant space is called holes, and it is considered as positively charged particles. So this process of electron hole creation is called as electron hole generation. So sometimes this generated electrons may fall back into this hole itself, and that process and then neutralized, and that process is called as a recombination. So for an intrinsic semiconductor, this electron hole pair generation is same as that of electron hole pair recombination. The rate is always same. So this is the way the electron hole pairs are generated in an intrinsic semiconductor. So we can say that at 0 Kelvin there is no charge carriers, valence band is filled with electrons, and conduction band is empty. But at T is greater than 0, what will happen? Electron hole pairs are generated, and they are the only charge carriers in intrinsic material. So they are generated pairs, the electron holes are created in pairs. So we can say that the number of electrons in the conduction band is equal to number of holes in the valence band, and it is denoted as N and P. Number of electrons is N, and number of holes is represented as P. So we can say that for an intrinsic semiconductor, the concentration is represented as Ni. So we can say that for an intrinsic material, this N equal to P equal to Ni. So remember that for an intrinsic semiconductor, the number of holes equal to number of electrons. So we can see that electron hole pairs. So this is our band energy band model. The top of the valence band is represented as EV, and the bottom of the conduction band is represented as EC. So at 0 Kelvin, this valence band is fully filled and the conduction band is empty. But here it is given as T is greater than 0. So some of the valence band electrons will get sufficient energy to overcome this energy band gap Eg, and they move freely to the conduction band. So there is a vacant space created in the valence band. Here that vacant space is represented as white dots. So and this vacant space is called as empty state is called as hole, and the free electrons free electrons will present in the conduction band. So this if the conduction band electron and the hole are created by the excitation of the valence band electron, then we can say that it has electron hole pairs. So some of the electrons in the conduction band freely move to the valence band and move back into the hole itself, so they will neutralize, and that is called as electron hole recombination. So for an intrinsic material, we can say that the recombination recombination at a given temperature, there must be recombination also, and this recombination is the process of the electrons in the conduction band makes a transition to an empty state in the pair. And next is, if we denote the generation of electron hole pairs as Gi and the recombination rate as Ri, we can say that Ri equal to Gi for an intrinsic semiconductor at equilibrium. And for for any intrinsic semiconductor, this Ri or Gi is always proportional to N0 P0. We can write it as Ri is always proportional to N0 P0, and that proportionality constant is represented as alpha. So we can write as Ri equal to alpha N0 P0 or alpha Ni square. So this is our intrinsic material. So we can summarize that intrinsic material at 0 Kelvin it acts as an insulator, but when we increase the temperature, the electron gets sufficient energy to move from valence band to conduction band, and it acts as a conductor. And here the generation rate of electron hole pairs is same as that of recombination rate. Next we can see what is extrinsic